Hello everyone, my name is Danielle Smith, and for my final report, I decided to select Starbucks. To start off in the earlier years, just to give you guys a brief summary of the company. It was founded in 1971 in Seattle, Washington. It's an American coffee company, of course. Very profitable, actually became profitable in the early 1980s. Howard Schultz joined the company as Director of Retail Operations and Marketing. He then had a passion, so he traveled to Italy, trying to find the right culture of espresso bars to bring back to the States. And then the first Starbucks cafe latte is served in 1984. Then after that, the company expands, opening 17 more stores in 1987. Around 1991, Starbucks actually became the first privately owned U.S. company to offer a stock option program, which includes part-time employees. Some of their products include coffee, of course, handcrafted beverages, merchandise such as keychains and t-shirts, mugs. They now offer fresh foods. They're very well known for their handcrafted sandwiches and, of course, their tea as well. And here is just a brief overview of their current menu of some of the things that they offer. Coffee, tea, and more. They offer espressos, lattes, macchiatos. And to give you a brief rundown on the team's organization chart. So we'll start with the CEO, which is Kevin Johnson. Then we'll break it down to Rosalind Brewer, which is the Chief Operating Officer and Group President. We then have Andy Adams, Senior Vice President, Store Development. Then we have Kelly Bingston, and she is the Senior Vice President, Chief Procurement Officer, Global Sourcing. Then we have Luigi Bonini, Senior Vice President in Global Product Innovation. We then have Martin Barak, which is the President of Starbucks in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. We then have Brady Brewer, which is the Chief Operating Officer, located in Japan. The company's board of directors have important duties to fulfill. They're responsible for overseeing corporate powers, and the organization is exercising and enforcing these objectives at all times. The board is also responsible for the variety of different business matters that include creating best practices that will ensure the business is running effectively and efficiently. They also make sure that everything is being served in the best interest of their shareholders. They have designed an easy access website that actually lets internal company information regarding the strategy, financial highlights, the principles and practices that are created by the board. And they're always modified or reevaluated, of course. Additionally, the goal of Starbucks Board of Directors is to ensure that the company is sustainable and continues to grow and make necessary changes. And due to the recent financial gains for Starbucks or corporation, it definitely has been implemented. Starbucks' mission statement is to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. So currently, we'll talk about the financial performance with the company. So the corporation, they're currently standing, as reported on April 25th of 2019. They are very pleased with their overall comparable store sales growth, says CEO Kevin Johnson. Starbucks actually reported an outstanding global comparable store sales increase of 3%, which was driven by a 3% increase in average ticket. Furthermore, Starbucks quarter 2 fiscal 2019 results reported globally an increase of 3% for store sales. The organization's current performance is indicating that they are strong and performing exceptionally well. Starbucks has executed 3 different strategies in which their organization will implement and deliver accordingly. These strategies include accelerating growth in their targeted markets of the U.S. and China, expanding the global reach of the Starbucks brand through their Global Coffee Alliance, and increasing shareholders' returns. Let's talk about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So currently, of course, they have a very strong financial performance. They're actually valued at more than $4 billion. They are currently the largest coffee house in the world. They have a very positive workplace internally, and they do offer quite a bit of high pay rates for their employees compared to their competitors. They also have great company benefits, and of course, the Starbucks brand is very, very strong and well known. Some of the weaknesses include, of course, the bad publicity that they have had through the recent years, especially with the recent unethical events at local stores, which we will talk about later. The inconsistent training on ethics and racial bias. They have poor strategy regarding social responsibility. So once these incidents occur, how it's presented to the public is not very appealing. And of course, they do have very overpriced products. A lot of customers complain about how they're paying $5 for a coffee, but they can go to one of their competitors, such as McDonald's, and pay half that price or less. Some of the opportunities, of course, involves diversification, co-branding, creating new partnerships, and of course, introducing new or trending products within the industry. They need to expand in developing markets. They need to have more partnerships or alliances with other firms. And I think that they can do this through expansion, through retail operations, of course, as discussed, co-branding, and expansion to emerging economies. Some of Starbucks' threats: competition with low-cost coffee sellers, again, such as McDonald's. People prefer not to pay $5 for a coffee. They're going to go to McDonald's and pay, again, half that price. Another thing that's not working in their favor is, again, the unethical behavior that has been presented through upper management with local stores, such as the Philadelphia arrest in 2018, and imitation of products. Some of the strategies is being more supportive of global issues, again, diversifying more product and company brand. If they utilize ethical training, train their employees annually with annual evaluations, I think this can prevent potential room for error in the future. And again, they need to work on management training. They need to train their leadership to implement these strategies and this ethical training in order to present the customer service that is included in their mission, values, and statements. Some of the competition from a recent article includes Maxwell House, of course, and Folgers Coffee. Starbucks has also entered the coffee bean and ground coffee market by distributing its products line to retail and grocery stores around the world. So they have two new competitors outside of McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts, of course, which is Maxwell House and Folgers. These two brands are currently dominating the coffee market. They are offering lower coffee prices for their products in stores, which attracts more customers. And that's the current competition that Starbucks is facing. So as far as strategies for the company, the corporation, of course, has gained a lot of respect from customers all over the world. However, there is still more room for growth and opportunity regarding expansion. The corporation is known for creating warmth and love through their beverages and products. If the corporation could be more supportive of the disasters and other issues that are happening globally, this could impact their external environment in a way that is more favorable for the company. For instance, Starbucks is known to be an organization that sells American-made, high-quality beverages. The corporation has an opportunity to expand more. If they took this initiative, they could expand in more areas such as the Middle East, China, and Africa. This would expand their services internationally, which would create more jobs, especially for the countries that are impoverished. The business diversification is the financial gain for the organization. If the company decided to be more innovative and diversify their products, this will help the business grow and produce more revenue. One thing that the organization is famous for is their addicting seasonal beverages. Depending on the season, Starbucks rolls in more customers every year, and it has a lot to do with what they have to offer. If they can become more creative with their products and utilize different forms of technology, this will also impact the company in a positive way. Regarding the ethical training, in 2018, Starbucks had a negative interaction regarding two African American men who peacefully were sitting down in a local store in Pennsylvania. One of the managers involved in the incident called the cops on these two black men because they decided not to purchase anything. They had a change of plans with meeting a local business meeting. The point is, with careful selection and management, the company can potentially avoid crises like this. Strategy development works the same way. Organizations must be willing to evaluate what is working for the business and what's working against it. The structure of an organization will influence this strategy development. Implementing these changes for external factors and internal factors is a great strategic move to keep up with the constant changes of the market. And this will have a positive impact in the end for the organization. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation.